snake. He's trying to get across the river. I got it! Yeah, I got him. Wow, look at the size of this guy. Whew. There's a tiger rat snake, and a big one too. I just saw him luckily from the top deck, 3 flights up, no time to take stairs. I just dived and got him. Look at him puffing up, just puffing up threateningly, warning me that if I get too close, he's going to bite me. But of course, this is not the snake I've come all the way to the Amazon to catch. The snake I want lives in this water as well, in the same river, but it's maybe 40 times bigger than this. I'm heading to Peru to search for the world's heaviest bodied snake, the giant anaconda. My journey is going to take me deep into the heart of the Amazon basin. There are no airstrips or roads where I'm going. I'll have to live, sleep, and travel on the river. Well, this is it. I'm on the riverboat Arca. Going to be my home for the next 2 months or so. My plan is to cruise up the river and start my search for my green anaconda. Some of the largest anacondas ever discovered were found in Peru, close to the Colombian border. So that's where I'm heading. Starting my journey from the river town of Iquitos, then slowly winding my way down the Amazon. I've picked my time and place carefully. The Amazon basin is prime anaconda territory, and this part of Peru is remote enough to give me a chance of finding a really big snake. I've come in April because that's high water season. If the water was low, then half the rivers I'm going to travel would be completely unnavigable. In dry season, the water level can drop the height of an 8-story building. Those bushes at the side of the boat are actually the tops of 40-foot trees. But there's another reason why I need the water to be high. When water levels are low, anacondas retreat into inaccessible oxbow lakes. They don't move very far in the shallow water, preferring to lie camouflaged, which makes them almost impossible to see. Besides, the chances of being able to get to one of these remote pools on foot would be almost zero. But as the water level rises, the Amazon basin spreads out an extra 150 miles in each direction, and the world's biggest snake is on the move. Giant anacondas have been said to reach lengths of 40 feet and weights of up to 600 pounds. They can measure 42 inches around and hit their prey with the force of 2 heavyweight boxes. And once in deep water, they are surprisingly fast. But if they're in the open, then at least I've got a chance of spotting one. My mission over the next 2 months is to scour these waterways in search of the biggest wild anaconda I can find, pull it from the water and photograph it. Well, I can honestly say, what I'm doing now is something I've wanted to do all my life, without exaggeration. And last year I am, cruising up the Amazon on a boat. Now the next 2 months I'm going to dedicate my whole life to just one thing, finding the heaviest bodied snake in the world, the green anaconda. Somewhere in this forest, one is waiting for me. It's been great traveling on the Arca. It takes me all the way up the Amazon, but when it gets to actually finding the stuff I need, small animals and reptiles in the trees, especially under the canopy over here, I need something more mobile, and that's this little canoe. These things are dug out of wood, out of a whole tree. Quite difficult to learn to handle it. They're not so well balanced. But once you've got the knack of it, this is the only way to travel the Amazon. Boa constrictor, quite a big guy too. My first boa constrictor in the wild. Look at the size of this. Because the water of the Amazon is so high at the moment, a lot of the snakes are way up here in the trees. He looks like he might just take a nip at me. I'm gonna just be careful. I've got him. Look at this. Wow, powerful guy. Very powerful. I'll see if I can get him down. I've got no cameras up here. No way I can do photography up here. I'll bring him down. Oh, first time I see a boa constrictor in the wild. Oh. Just hold on, boy. Just hold on. Okay. Just to get down here. I got him. Boys, he got me. How about you? Yeah. Yeah. Well, if I can get back in the canoe, then I'll put the snake in. Woo. Oh, he's quite a big guy. Beautiful. I just got to get in the boat with him now. Oh, he's a little bit upset, but I don't blame him. Put your head down. Put your head down. I want to get him. Let's try get him. Come on in. There we go. Me and my first boa constrictor in the Amazon. This is a Peruvian boa constrictor. Beautiful tail. Look at those red markings. Isn't that fantastic? Look at this guy. Wow. Oh, I'm so happy. I got my first boa. I'll do some photos with him later on a decent branch with nice lighting. Photography is how I make my living. I'm just going to get some shots of these fantastic markings. Then I'll release him back into the wild again. Unfortunately, the snake doesn't seem to realize that. Wow. See how he's coiling his tail up there? He's upset. I've dealt with these boas many times in parks back in Africa, but there's nothing like coming face to face with one in the wild. Boa constrictors are one of the best known snakes in the world. Everybody's heard of boa constrictor. Now, fictional writers claim they can crush people and swallow them down. That's of course not true, because boa constrictors don't actually get bigger than about 3 meters. However, as you can see with this guy, if you make him angry, and I've just dipped him in with the piranhas, he's going to let me have it. He's got his mouth open, he's got a lot of teeth in the mouth. He can really give a nasty bite. No venom, but he can certainly bring blood. Okay, so you don't fool with boa constrictors, even though they're not venomous snakes. And he's really mad. I've just got to watch out that he doesn't actually zap me. And I can't even get to my camera right now, because he's really keen. He didn't like that dunking in the pool at all. Let's see what happens if I bring the camera closer to him. You got it right, boy? Let me get a nice picture of you. He can't do that to my lens. Oh, he's really upset. He's really upset. All right, here we go. Here we go. That's it, my first picture. There are 10 species of boa in South America and literally dozens of subspecies. But the anaconda and the red-tailed boa are the two biggest. Okay. One more picture. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, he's beautiful. He's beautiful. Just keep him like that. Can you hear that hiss? Actually forcibly exhaling the lung, forcing the air out, really warning me, get away, otherwise I'm going to let you have it. Alright, so one more picture before I actually... Yeah, I can just release him. He's right in his habitat, in his home ground, so I can just walk away, but I'd like to get one or two more shots. If you'll just come to me, I want a real close-up of it. Ah! Jeez, okay, enough of that. Enough of that. Got my picture, leaving it at that. Wow, what a snake. My first boa in the wild. But I have to hope any anaconda I find isn't as aggressive as that guy. I'm continuing my journey down the Amazon on the riverboat Arca, searching for giant anacondas. I'm trying to get as far away from towns and villages as I can. Any big snakes there might have been in this area would have been killed long ago, because this is the one snake that could pose a threat to human beings. The anaconda is an ambush predator. It spends much of its time hidden in muddy water with just its eyes and nostrils above the surface. This caiman is over 5 feet long, but it's dwarfed by the anaconda's huge body. As the muscular coils contract once more, the caiman is already dead. But the snake is taking no chances. It already bears the scars of previous encounters. Once satisfied that all the fight has gone out of its prey, the anaconda tackles the next problem: how to swallow something 3 times wider than its own head. The elastic ligaments which connect the upper and lower jaws allow it to open its mouth incredibly wide. The snake has no need to chew. It just swallows the whole animal down from head to tail in one laborious feast. The wave-like contractions of its muscles move the prey towards the stomach, where gastric acids will rapidly dissolve it. It's easy to see how an anaconda might swallow a human. Some snakes have been claimed to be 100 foot or more, some 140 foot long. This is impossible, they don't get that big. However, once in a while you come across a skin like this of such an anaconda that was shot by an explorer maybe 50 years ago. And this gives us a more accurate idea of just how big these snakes can become. This skin is over 20 feet long and almost 3 feet wide. Now just imagine if I could find a snake this size, alive and well in the wild. I set sail on the Arca once again, in search of more remote country. The rivers are becoming more and more narrow, the sightings of people less frequent. I've turned off the Amazon now into the smaller Rio Ampiacu, and I'm just one day upriver when I have my next major snake encounter. This is a highly venomous snake. I'm having to use my snake tongs to gently pick it up without getting bitten. I got him. I was hoping I'd get one of these snakes. Actually, I knew for certain at some time or other I must find one, because this is a very prolific snake. They're found all over South America. This is the infamous fer-de-lance. This is the snake that causes most snake bite casualties all over South America. You can see easily how well it's camouflaged. Imagine this, I'm on a tracker's path right now, and if he was crossing the path at night especially, and they often move around early morning, late evening, you wouldn't see the snake, and people step on them very quickly. They get bitten in the ankle. Look at that. It's got this very sharp, pointy head. Sort of gets its name from that idea, fer-de-lance, lance head. It has a powerful venom, the snake. It's a blood-destroying, tissue-destroying venom. Okay. Now what I've got to do here is just get the snake behind the head so that I can actually have a good look at him. Just pin him down for a second if I can, right here. Although this guy looks nothing like a boa, there is one surprising similarity. The similarity this snake has to some of the boas that you find, especially the tree boas, it's what they call a pit viper, because it also has heat receptors. But unlike the boas, which have heat receptors in the top lip and the bottom lip, the heat receptors here are in between the nose and the eye, and they're called pit vipers because it's just that little pit, which you can see one over there and one on the other side. Now, those are heat receptors which even in the dark enable the snake to find his prey. He has a sort of an infrared detection unit. A warm-blooded mammal slipping past him, even in the dark, even if he couldn't see it, within a certain range, the snake can accurately strike and get that prey. Fangs are pretty big too. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll stick my forceps in here. If you'll just let me, maybe I can show you what those fangs actually look like. Ah, there. Oh, look at that. Actually biting. See the little sheaths that are covering the fangs? When the snake bites, those sheaths push back and then the fangs are exposed. Needle-sharp little fangs. Couple of drops of venom injected from that and you're in big trouble. And you can imagine out here in these rural areas deep in the Amazon jungle, someone gets bitten by a snake like this, he's days and days away from any help. So it's a very, very dangerous snake. Hundreds and thousands of people get bitten by these snakes. Oh, look at that. Gave a bite there. He's getting quite angry with me now. Oh, and another drop. See the venom coming out? Drops of venom? Wow. Unbelievable. Really nice. They get a lot bigger than this too. This guy's a good average size, but he could get a lot bigger than this, probably twice the size. Inside the mouth is 2 rows on top, little teeth, also a row on each side at the bottom. Those are just the normal teeth which the snake uses to pull the prey down into its mouth. But the fangs are where the venom is injected from. Okay. Right, so what I want to do is just release him over here, out the way so that nobody else steps on him. I'll just let him go over there. Just let go of the fangs quickly with my hand. Just chop. So he doesn't get... He's quite well behaved. Flickering the tongue now, having a look. Where can he go? He's still half asleep, I think. I'm lucky. I'll just put him down here. And off he goes. My search goes on. These are some of my favorite places, when the canopy actually comes together, comes right over your head. You get into the narrow little places, sometimes you can actually see things right on the side, right where the leaves are lying over the water. And if you listen carefully, you can actually hear the dendrobates, the little arrow poison frogs. You can hear them calling in the trees. That's fantastic, and of course a lot of birds and various other things. This is the best way to travel up the Amazon, in this little canoe, up these little gorges. Normally, I'd look for signs of where an anaconda might have slid down the riverbank, but everything is underwater here. Look what I found. I got him. This is what is so amazing about being in the Amazon. There's just animals everywhere. It's incredible. I'm so used to being in desert conditions where you've got to struggle to find stuff. Yeah, if you look carefully, you can find things all over the place. Look at this. This is a little boa. And he's sleeping. He's fast asleep and he's got himself all tucked up in a ball. Unbelievable. If you look very carefully, there's his head. I just pulled him out of the tree. It's a nocturnal snake. He moves around at night. He doesn't want to be woken up now. He's hidden his eyes, so he thinks nobody else can see him as well. Quite happy to be tucked away. Look at that. Complete little ball. Could actually throw him out. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? He doesn't even want to wake up. I'm just a rubber ball, leave me alone. There's a couple of pythons in the world, arboreal pythons, that will do that. Fantastic. You get him out of that, you open him up, you can't believe he's actually he's about 4 foot, this guy. I mean, look at that. He's actually a very long snake. Can you believe that he was that little ball? Isn't that wonderful? Hey, he's not awake. He said, nope. He says, I want to go back to bed. I'm going to let you go. No, don't worry. He's coming to have a look at me. Who is this guy messing around with me? Eh? Who's this guy? No. Look at that. Incredible snake. Isn't he beautiful? Look at that body strength. Hey, holds himself out there. If he was mad now, if he was a little bit wake up, he might just take a nip at me, but he seems to be quite calm. Roll him up into his ball again. Oh, now he's going. Now he's ready to go.
This is what makes it all worthwhile to me, seeing unusual behavior like that, something really special. How can people say that snakes are horrible creatures? They are completely fascinating.
So, that's a good time to release him, let him go and sleep one more time.
A nice find. But after 3 more days of searching, there's still no sign of anacondas. I decide to move on. It was day 23 when I came upon one of the strangest sights of my entire journey. After weeks of nothing but trees and water, suddenly a whole town appeared, suspended above the river by wooden stilts. It was like something out of a dream. This was my last chance to re-provision the Arca with food and fuel. From now on we were sailing into uncharted territory, deep into uninhabited jungle in search of that elusive giant anaconda. The fact that most of the snakes I've found have been sheltering high above the waterline has given me another idea. I want to get a look in the forest canopy and see if I might find a few reptiles up there.
That's tiring work. Wow. That's it. Only another 100 foot to go.
Rainforest canopy is one of the least explored habitats on Earth. The promise of what I might find up here makes all this hard work worthwhile. Nothing. All this way and no snakes. I'll just have to try another tree.
I've got, look what I found. That's another Amazon tree boa. Look at the snake. But look at the color. You see the color of the snake? There's a treetop snake, canopy snake. I've been finding similar boas all over the place. Down on the bottom, on the leafy bottom, they've been a lot darker in color, more accustomed to being in the lower and the darker range. Now this guy, quite possibly, it's just a theory, living higher up in the canopy, has got a completely different camouflage pattern. So probably for some reason, for the lighter conditions up here, this serves better to keep him safe from predators. These guys probably never go down to the ground. You don't see these canopy animals ever down on the bottom. Same species maybe, down on the ground, but completely different color markings. Isn't that wonderful? I've got to get a picture of this guy. He seems pretty well behaved too. Look how long he is. He's probably a 5-footer. Wow. If I can place him on a branch here, possibly I can actually get a photo of him while I'm up here. This is not an easy position to work in. I've got to do this because I don't want to bring him out of the canopy. There we go. Let's see if I can load my flash. You just hang in there, boy. Just hang in there. So many different kinds of boas in the Amazon region. It's fantastic to see all these color ranges. If I just let him go, that's it. Oh, wonderful. He's even posing for me. Isn't that incredible? 100 foot up in the canopy. And I'm shooting pictures. Okay, one more. Okay, now let him go up. Find his own way. Oh, see how he takes off. When he sees, he can get moving again. And watch how prehensile the tail is. How he wraps around the tree. He can hold on with the tail. He can stick his whole body out. Now he's holding on just to push himself up. He coils again, makes a loop, pushes himself further up, something like this rope system I'm using here. Absolutely canopy animal, living way up here, 100 foot up in the trees. Perfectly designed for these kind of conditions. I wish I was as easy moving as this guy. I'm struggling here. And he's just cruising. Look at that. Imagine that. No hands, no feet. And look what he can do. Isn't that incredible? Wow.
There's such a variety of boas here. It's amazing. But I need to get back to my search for the biggest boa of them all, the giant anaconda. The Amazon basin covers over 2.7 million square miles, an area more than 10 times the size of Texas. A whole third of South America is Amazon basin. The river itself is over 4,000 miles long, fed by almost 1,000 tributaries, including 7 that are more than 1,000 miles long themselves. From each of those, thousands more tiny rivers and streams branch off into the forest. How can I ever hope to cover enough ground to find a really big snake? I've now spent 34 days on board the riverboat Arca, but I've only covered 220 miles. With money and time running out, things are becoming desperate.
You know, I'm halfway into the trip already. I've been seeing fantastic things. I've even been catching snakes that I've only seen in picture books before. It's wonderful. But it's such a vast area. It's Amazon jungle and it's water and the water's high. There's no way to trace an anaconda. I'm trying to find a large anaconda. It's not the easiest thing. It's not like I can find tracks in the sand or anything like that. I go to the best places that I think is possibly an anaconda position, but I've seen no sign of big anaconda. So I guess all I can do is carry on the way I am and hope for the best.
One of the reasons that anacondas are so hard to find is that they spend so much time in the water. They are the most aquatic of all the boas. They may be sluggish on land because of their size, but in the water they are capable of surprising speeds. Even under normal circumstances, they can stay submerged for 20 minutes at a time. But often they will find an air pocket somewhere, perhaps around the roots of a tree, where they may hole up for days on end. could be an anaconda beneath me right now. "50 days into my trip and still no sign of a giant anaconda. But my search goes on. I've branched off the Ampi Yaku onto the smaller Rio Yahaus Yaku, and the weather has changed for the worse.
Got him. This is what I've been looking for. I was hoping to get something bigger, of course, but this is the green anaconda that I'm looking for. But it's a baby, it's a young one. These guys are bitey. Oh, look at his mouth. Even a baby like this can give you a nasty bite. Oh wow. Let's see if I can get him behind the head, because he's really mad. Jeepers. Okay, he's striking at me. Oh, and he's got me. Got him off. Look at that mouth. Imagine that now. Imagine this guy being 30 foot long. Can you imagine that? When this guy grows up, he's going to be the heaviest bodied snake in the world. 20 to 30 foot maybe. Isn't that fantastic? And they got 100 teeth in the mouth. So if he lies in wait at the side of the water, maybe some mammal comes down and he strikes out, grabs those teeth, pulls the animal into his coils, constricts and then swallows it down. And these guys can take big animals, something the size of a full-grown pig, no problem at all. Wow, so you got to watch out for that. Look, he's really mad. He's dying to get hold of me. Doesn't like being pulled out of the water at all. Okay. Wow, just give my arm a wash there. What I'm going to do is put him down on this fantastic Amazon giant lily, and I can actually let him go, because I don't need to take a guy like this too far with me in this canoe, because he'll probably bite me all the time. All right, there we go. Imagine a female, like a big female, 20, 30 foot long. She have babies like this, 30, 40 babies at a time sometimes.
A female anaconda can give birth to as many as 100 young, though typically the size of the litter ranges from 20 to 40. The eggs hatch inside the mother, so the young emerge live, though sometimes an egg remains unfertilized and is ejected along with the babies. The babies are no more than 30 inches long when they emerge, but they start growing fast. Because they have no venom apparatus, the small snakes are vulnerable to predators, particularly to caiman, who prey on young anacondas just as much as adult anacondas prey on them. So the snakes bulk up as fast as they can, increasing in size an amazing 500 times before they reach adulthood. If a human baby did that, it would end up the size of a humpback whale. The youngsters stay with their mother for just a couple of hours before they disperse to fend for themselves.
Of course, the whole idea is that I try and find a big one. I want to find mama, you know what I mean? Okay, boy, you can go now. Oh, he's so cross. Look at him there. Wow, look at that. I must watch out now. This is bound to attract the piranhas, and I don't need that. On top of that, I'm either getting bitten by snakes or eaten by piranhas. Let me help him on his way a little bit. Come on. Off you go. There he goes. Oh, he's so mad at me. Well, that's my first experience with anaconda, and that's the result. If I'm going to tackle something 14 foot or 15 foot or maybe 20 foot in length, I hope I catch him behind the head before he catches me behind the head.
That anaconda was just a baby. The snake I tackled could be 4 times longer than me and up to 3 times my weight. It can swim as fast as I can run and hold its breath for over 20 minutes. I struggle to hold my breath underwater for just 60 seconds. In every department, the odds are stacked against me. All I can hope is that I'm fitter. Snakes have poor stamina. My only chance will be to try and tire it out before it overpowers me.
You wouldn't believe this, but this is not a turtle in the water here. It's a tortoise, a big one. And he's trying to get from one bank to the other, I think, because the water's very high at the moment. All these animals can swim because they have to. They live in this water area. But I think he got caught in the current because he seemed to be struggling a bit. So I thought I'll just jump in and give him a hand. See if I can help him swim across to the other side. Go on, mate. Let's go. There we go. Here's big boy. There, I got you. I'm just going to get you out. And you'll be all right. There you go. Oh, look at the size of this guy. Isn't he enormous? It's a yellow-footed tortoise. Can you believe an animal this size walking around the floor of the Amazon? And the fact that he is so big is really good because it shows I'm in pristine forest area. If a tortoise grows this big without getting eaten, I've got a really good chance of finding big anacondas in this area as well.
I'm getting closer to the Colombian border. The rivers I'm traveling on now don't even have names on my map.
Well, I'm pretty confident about this area I'm in because I've had a lot of good luck. Finding that big tortoise definitely told me there's no villages too close by here. And having already found a baby anaconda, I mean, what more proof do I need? I'm really on the Anaconda trail. So I feel it's a pretty good area. I've got a good chance of finding something bigger than that.
I've got to try and stop it coiling around me. If it pulls me down underwater, I'm in big trouble.
She's actually quite a well-behaved snake, considering I'm trying to pull her out the water, but she's trying to get away, and it's very hard to keep the weight off. I've got to just get her off my neck a bit. Oh. There we go. Oh. I've got a grip on the ground, and I think the snake is as tight as what I am. And at least I've got some footing. I can try and bring her up. Oh, look at the size of her, isn't she? Incredible. We're both tired. Oh man, she hasn't even actually tried to bite me. Look at that. Look at this gorgeous thing. Wow. This is about a 17-footer, probably a good average size. Look at the size of that head. What a powerful snake. What a fantastic animal. I can't believe it's letting me hold it like this. I mean, her stories about 20, 30-foot monsters may be true. There may be still some in this forest. But I'm so happy to find this snake. I mean, you don't know how big a snake you may or may not find. Look how big she is. She's so heavy I can hardly pick her up. Oh, yeah. Oh. But she's exhausted. I think if she wasn't as tired as this, she'd probably be struggling more, try and bite me now and then. But she's actually just trying to get away. And this is what I came to the Amazon for. To find an anaconda in the wild and actually bring her out of the water. And I've done that. Wow. Look at this. Isn't she gorgeous? This is fantastic. This is an unbelievable snake. Okay. Look at that. I think she's taken to me. I think she's actually quite fond of me already. I'm the only one that's ever given her a worthwhile fight, eh? All those other boys are not worth anything compared to me. Oh, isn't that wonderful? I'm so excited, I can't believe it.
So I got my snake, but the mission was to photograph a large green anaconda in the wild. So I've got to get some pictures. It's an imposing creature. Longer than me, heavier than me, stronger than me. I knew my only chance was to try and wear her out, to be fitter than she was, and I did it. All that remains is to help her back into the water and let her on her way. It's a moment I'll never forget. As the archer turns round to head for home, I'm full of emotion. I feel incredibly elated to have completed my mission. But now it's over, I know I've got to leave this remarkable place. I can't help feeling a little sad at what I'm leaving behind. The world's largest river and the world's largest snake. I vowed to myself that one day I'll be back.